happy to be here. Ooh, and can I do gallery view now? I guess I can, maybe I should be. Oh, there it is, Yay, I wanted to see more people. Hi, everybody. Wow. Oh, I hope you will allow me to begin with a bit of a cliche. Speakers often say it's a pleasure to be here, but let me tell you, it's a pleasure to be here. Because I believe that the work that we're doing right now is going to be so important. And if I can contribute in some small way to whatever that happens to be, it is my joy, it is really my delight to do that with each of you. So it is my pleasure to be here. I am Omi. Yes, indeed, I was Claire's teacher back in the day, as they say. And she was as extraordinary then as I think you probably find her to be now. So I'm glad to have this invitation and to spend some more time with Claire. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I won't be with you long enough to probably get to know pronouns and so on, but I offer you respect and appreciation as I move through this time with you, with all of you. We will have to, from time to time, push the screen or swipe or whatever the language is so that we can see the many people that are here, not only the people who may be on our screen right now. So I invite you to do that periodically so that we all get a sense of who is all present. I use the word present, so I want us to get present. I want us to use one of the basic principles of some work that I do, work in theatrical jazz, and I'm gonna look at some more faces right now. There's some more people. And in theatrical jazz, being present is sort of everything. We can't quite create, we can't live beyond what we already know until we really get present with now. So to move in that direction, I'm going to invite you to do just a little breathing with me. As we do that breathing, you may put your eyes in a kind of soft focus, or if you'd like, you can close your eyes. That's what I'm going to do. And initially, on your own pace and your own style, just feel your breathing. So take a few moments to just breathe. If your tongue is pressed against the roof of your mouth like mine often is, see if you can relax it. Begin to elongate your inhale and your exhale. Make them nice and full. On your next inhale, expand your rib cage as much as you can, keeping your shoulders low, and then exhale as you have been. Put those two pieces together. This new inhale, your own exhale. Keep breathing. Now add to it this specific exhale. On your next exhale, push all the air out by bringing your navel towards your spine. So put those two pieces together. Inhale, expanding the rib cage, keeping shoulders low. Exhale, pushing air out by bringing navel to spine. Do that for a bit on your own. Now let's see if we can do this together. Keeping your eyes closed if they're closed or in soft focus. Let us take an inhale together. Expand the rib cage, keep the shoulders low. And now exhale together, bringing that navel towards your spine. Let's do it again together. Inhale, shoulders low. Exhale, navel to spine. One last one together. Inhale and exhale. Ooh, gently return to a sharp focus or open your eyes. And we are here together to have this moment together. Great. Let's do a little bit more syncing up. Continue getting to know each other in the short amount of time that we have. I'm going to do some gestures, and I just want you to imitate the gesture. Whatever you see, and you can modify it, make it more yours, but I'm going to do some gestures, and then you follow along. See, I'm ready for a dance party. I'm trying to get myself together here. Now, I'm going to just call on people randomly. Nicholas, would you take this gesture? Everybody keep at that gesture. Nicholas, just modify it in some way. And we'll follow. Now we'll follow Nicholas. Okay. Let me see. I get to swipe and see if I can call on someone else. Omi Yemi? Would you modify the gesture now? Okay. It's interesting how close attention we gotta pay. It's a gesture we're not sure, but we're gonna go for it, that's right. And let's have one more. Amy, how about you? Would you give it a try? Change this gesture. Oh, okay. All right. Lovely, lovely. Let's relax those hands. Beautiful, beautiful. That kind of playfulness is going to be essential in the days to come, in the worlds that we all want to build. Play puts us in touch with our vulnerability, and vulnerability is the site of creativity. It's where it happens. So as we do our work together in this workshop that I have called And Now, as we do our work together, I would love for you to retain that willingness to explore, that playfulness, and that sense of togetherness that we managed to find even through all of this electronic, whatever it is, okay? If you have something to write with, that would be great. I'm sure I did not put that in the instructions. You can do it on your computer if you want to. It might be easier if you have paper and pen. And I know with the instructions for the workshop, Ingrid, she gave you all this great information, including a link to a video. You may not have had a chance to take a look at it, but if you did, that's great. I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of writing right now around that video. And if you didn't, I'll give you a different set of instructions if you didn't get a chance to see it. Those of you who saw the video, Kimberly Jones talking about this moment from her vantage point, what it means to her, and even what she thinks we should do to move forward. I simply want you to take a little time and write what stood out for you in Kimberly's sharing. And those of you who did not, I'll give you a set of instructions in a moment. But if you saw the video, you have about 2 minutes or so, write what stood out for you. Okay. If you didn't have an opportunity to see Kimberly Jones, if you would write, what is the thing you haven't spoken yet that could guide us to a healthier humanity? So those of you who didn't see the video, what is the thing you haven't yet expressed that you think could guide us to a healthier humanity? I'll be giving you a few other writing prompts. And if some of these feel really productive for you, you know that you can return to them, even if we don't have time to explore them as fully as you'd like right now. Look over what you just wrote. Find the bit of that writing that feels like, yeah, that's it, that you nailed it, that's the heart of this thing. Maybe it was the hardest thing to write. Maybe it was the thing that spilled out very easily and quickly. It might be one word. It might be a phrase. It might be a full sentence, but underline it, mark it in some kind of way. We're going to do a little bit of sharing. And before we do, let's do another sync up. Often thank yous come after something. But let's thank each other in silence for just showing up, for just being here. That your presence is what we get to thank each other for. And the way I'd like you to do this, pick a set of eyes in one of these squares and land on them. Those eyes might be looking somewhere else, right? In Zoom, we're looking all over the place. But you pick a set of eyes and in silence, just say thank you for coming. Tell them in silence what you want to offer up in this experience. Okay, so land on some eyes. Offer up that thanks. And you can even in silence call them by name because we got names in front of us. Now, swipe and pick a new face. All right. Thank this new person, wherever they happen to be looking. Tell them what you want to offer. Terrific. And that's an important prelude to my now asking, would anyone like to volunteer and share what they underlined? And that's Malcolm. Thank you very much, Malcolm. You unmute great.
Sure. The phrase that I came to afterwards was word by word, phrase by phrase, nothing unnecessary and nothing unlinked. She never let go of me.
All right. And in the Zoom way, we can thank him now like this or whatever we want to do. But thank you very much, Malcolm. It takes a lot to jump in. And I think it's a moment when we're going to be asked to jump in more with full hearts. Thank you. Would someone else like to share what they wrote, they underlined? I just lost the gallery view, which means, is there another hand somewhere? Another person want to jump in? Oh, Omi. Thank you. Yes, please.
You're welcome. Greetings, everybody. I wrote the why of the looting. It's the point others missed in conversations closest to me. So I saw myself in her discussion, okay, because most everyone I was having this conversation with around looting never focused on the why.
Gotcha, gotcha. So will you say once again to us, what was the piece you actually wrote?
The why of the looting. It's the
Perfect.
point others missed in conversations closest to me.
Perfect. All right. We're going to do more with this bit of underlining that you've done. So I want to, two things I want to do. I want to make sure that you are offering to us what you actually wrote. And I want to honor you as writers, because that impulse to put it on the page, I want to make sure that that stays precious. All right. Another volunteer, maybe one more? Anyone else? Okay. All right. Oh, I almost missed you. Suad, did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes. Yes, SWAT, yeah.
Wonderful. All right, please.
So I wrote down so we can build.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So everybody, whether you verbalized or not now, make sure you know that phrase and you won't lose it, because as I said, we're going to do some more with it. Okay. Now I'd like you to get a little introspective, a little more introspective. I want you to respond to this prompt. My life issue is, you're going to fill in that blank and keep writing. In doing this, I would like you to be as honest as you possibly can be in this moment. It's more important that you are honest with yourself than it is you mask something so you won't have to share something that feels too private. You won't be required to share. I'll also say, my life issue, feeling unworthy, not good enough, never measuring up. So spend a little bit of writing time with that prompt. You might consider, when was the first time you felt that way? Knowing, again, you can return to that if you want to chew on it more. This time, what I'd like you to do, think about what that life issue is. See if you can distill it into an embodiment of some sort. If that life issue could be a movement, a gesture, an angle of the body, without trying to think about it so much, let your body respond to what is that life issue and what is it in your body. If I were on your end responding to this, I think with the not being good enough, it might be something like this. Okay. And I want to, again, invite anyone. You will never have to tell us what that life issue is. And it doesn't have to, quote unquote, make sense to anyone but you and your body and your spirit. Okay. But I want to ask for some volunteers to share their embodiment of that life issue with us. You won't be speaking, you'll just be showing. And because of that, if you want to volunteer, why don't you unmute and say, yeah, I'll share. And then I believe that will pull that person into the screen, everybody's screen. That's how much I know about Zoom. That was it. Anybody?
I'll be glad to share.
Okay, where did that come from? Okay, Petra?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Petra. Thank you. Thank you. And we said, yes, we get to thank Petra. Being vulnerable, the beginning of everything. Someone else like to share their physical? Antonio.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Antonio. Give him thanks as well. Yes, 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 yes. A few more of you willing to share? See what your bodies are saying. Nicholas.
Yes, I'll share.
Mm. Mm. Oh, wow. Ooh, it's really big. You know, our words are powerful. Our bodies can say so much without those words. Now, Rose, did I see, were you about to raise a hand or, no, sorry, okay, all right. She's like, nope, 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 not me. That's what they were saying. Got it, okay, okay. Another feature of this, I want you to now, each of you, to take that thing you underlined from the video that you thought was really powerful, important, or had you curious in some way. Take that gesture. We've seen a lot of different things. Saw a lot of different things coming forward. Whatever your embodiment was, you are going to craft those two things into a poem that is no more than 3 lines. You have to use the language that you underlined. That has to be part of the verbal experience of this poem. And then whatever you want to do with that physicalization that you either shared with us or you imagined, that has somehow got to be in this poem too. You don't have to say what the life issue is, but that physicalization somehow needs to be represented in the poem. Are these instructions making sense? Okay, okay, I got thumbs up. Yay. A couple of them, great, lots of them. So I'll give you some time to create this poem, no more than 3 lines. And as before, I want to invite you to step inside your vulnerability and show your virtuosity. When I use the word virtuosity, I'm not thinking of brilliance. You know, we might think of a virtuoso drummer, somebody who's just extraordinary on the drum. I think they get to be extraordinary because they have courage. And so I think of virtuosity as courage. So I'm inviting your vulnerability. I'm inviting your virtuosity as courage to continue in the sharing. Someone want to share their poem? Oh, I see Michael. Yes.
Hey everybody. You know what? I wanna do it from the drums. Since you mentioned drumming. So
Okay, go for it.
yeah, why not? Can you hear me? Is it cool?
Yes.
All right. Okay, here's my poem. Falling into the arms of a loved one. The culmination of a moment towards exasperation and exhaustion. Be true to thyself.
Thank you, Michael. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I hope that that prompts others of you to share. A few more?
I'm always happy to, oh, go ahead.
You're welcome.
That was Sherry, and but somebody else was starting too who could go after Sherry?
I'm always happy to go.
Who was that? Oh, Malcolm.
That's Malcolm.
Okay, all
That's
right,
Malcolm.
we'll go with Sherry. Okay, sure. We'll go with Sherry, and then we'll come to Michael, and maybe there'll be someone else. I said Michael, I meant Malcolm. Sherry, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I wrote, churning bowels churn, yet nothing return. Screaming, aching, yet no sound remaining. Pleading, posing, people pleasing, yet I'm still queer.
Thank you very much, Sherry. Yes, 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 yes. I get very excited when people put themselves forward. So that's what you're experiencing right now. Malcolm, you also wanted to share?
Yeah, if no one else is ready.
Is there someone else who would like to? Because we can come back to Malcolm.
We're good. I put my words from before.
Okay.
Word by word, phrase by phrase, she never let go of me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow. My wow comes from what power can happen when people play. When people allow themselves to make up rules as they go along that are generous, loving, and respectful. And recognize the limitation that may exist in the established rules. And that's what all of you are doing right now. I gave this workshop the And Now title because I think we are at a moment where now looks, feels, tastes very different for many of us, not all of us, for many of us than it did a year ago. And so what do we do with this? What do we do with this now moment? And for me, you're doing it. If people can retain the qualities that you are exploring right now, there is the opportunity to love the planet and love each other and love ourselves. So that's the and now that I feel we're in the middle of. We're gonna do one more thing. I'm looking at the time. We've got, I think, 16 minutes. And for only 5 of those 16 minutes, it's gonna happen fast. You are going to be placed in groups. And when you're together, I'd like you to share your poem, individual poem with each other. And then you're going to make an amalgamation of your poems into one. Okay, one poem. This one still can't be any more than 3 lines. I'd like the poem to have language from each of the 4 or 5 people in your ensemble. Make sense? So there might be a word or 2 here from each piece, but you're going to craft that. Then, as if that weren't enough, all this body work that you have done, your body is holding so much information. So this is what I want us to do. After you do all of that, you're gonna make this poem, then you could just come back and then I'll tell you what we'll do in the sharing, because each of those poems that are, the new poems that are created will be shared, but I don't even need to tell you what that is right now. So your task, in your room, create a 3-line poem that incorporates language from everybody in your ensemble. You're only gonna have 5 minutes, and you might have less. So let's think you're going to have 5. How's that? We're almost all back.
Just the one time.
am I looking at two separate groups, I think, right now? Probably Malcolm, Omi, Amy, Sophie, Nicholas, Michael. Are those two different groups?
No, I think we're all together now. I think there's 18 of us, so I think we're good.
Okay, all right. This is what I would like us to do in the very little bit of time that we have remaining. We only have 7 minutes. If each group somehow figure out who should read the poem out loud. Everybody else is going to have another task in the group, but make that decision somehow now. Who's going to read? I'll give you a minute to figure that out. Is every group clear who's going to be reading the poem? Well, we'll just see what kind of chaos we can create together, okay? All right. So one person in the group, and why don't we, Amy, can we start with your group? Okay, all right. So these instructions will be the same for everybody. One person from the group will read the poem, and I'm going to ask that you read slowly enough so that we can absorb it, but read the poem. Everybody else in that group is going to figure out a a spontaneous, improvised, physical response to what they are feeling and or what is happening in the poem. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. I invite you too to use those screens as much as you'd like. We don't have to be bounded by the squares or rectangles that we're in. So we're going to start with Amy's group. Amy, are you the reader?
Apparently I am.
That's the way that works, you see. Okay, okay. And everyone else in the group understands what their task is. And for the rest of us, we get the important job of witness. We got to hold all of that creative energy, the vulnerability, the innovation, all of it. We get to hold it respectfully and generously. All right? So Amy, whenever you are ready, and then the movers get ready as well.
To being seen in full volume, I may see more.
Ooh. Thank them. Wow, wow. What delicious serendipity too. Sophie and Nicholas were almost mirroring each other. And then with Omi coming in close to be seen. Zoom may be able to do more things than we realize. I'm learning. So let's move to another group real quick. I'm sorry to rush us along, but I know you've got places to go and people to see. So another group. Sherry, your group? And you know who the reader is?
Rose.
Oh, Rose is the reader, great. And everybody else in the group, you understand what your action is, yeah? Okay, so then Rose, whenever you're ready, nice and slow.
We are exhausted, yet nothing in return. Open palms pressing forward so we can build.
Oh, wow, thank you. And we saw some echoes of the movements that were offered up earlier, right? Coming back, it seemed wonderful, 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 wonderful. Next group, Antonio, your group? And do we know who the reader is?
Yep, I'm the reader, Petra.
Petra. And the rest of the group knows what they're doing? And if we have to, you know, toggle between screens or swipe, make sure we do. All right?
All right.
So Petra, whenever you're ready.
Speed. Speed to another's arms. The land will not leave me. broken to unlock.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, so rich. It's really so rich. Do we have one more group? Is there a group? Did we miss a group?
Yes, there's our group, myself, Malcolm, Michael, and Alfredo,
Okay.
who is videos.
Okay, great, great. But here nonetheless. Malcolm, are you the reader?
Omi, I think you're frozen.
Oh.
Or maybe it's me that's frozen. Can you hear me?
Am I frozen? I can hear Malcolm.
You're back, yeah, cool.
Okay, good.
So it's me,
good,
Michael, and Alfredo.
And are you reading?
I'm the speaker, yeah.
Okay, great, great. Okay, and whenever you're ready.
Falling into the arms of a loved one, choked by hands familiar. She never let go of me.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Each and every one of you. Each and every one of you were necessary to make this moment happen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I know that I've got 1 minute. I'm gonna use my 1 minute. I just want to underscore some of the things that occurred today and why I think that they're important. You allowed yourselves to be vulnerable. Our greater vulnerability, not less, is going to be required of us. More vulnerability, okay? More honesty, more real, less masking. You allowed yourself to be inside of the unknown, to improvise, to create something that didn't exist. There are systems falling apart that many of us knew were broken for a long, long time. This may be the moment to insert the new thing. And we can't find it if we're not willing to be vulnerable and to improvise. And you expressed my version of virtuosity by courageously jumping in, by offering up the fullness of your bodies, your spirits, your thinking, all of it. I am so excited to do this with you. It affirms for me that there's some hope that we might be able to do something besides destroy the planet and kill off one another, that there really might be some other way. Okay, so I thank you for that affirmation. I'm gonna take it into the rest of the week. I hope you got some affirmations for yourselves as well that you'll be able to take on. But thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you want to
Thank you.
thank yous together, we can handle it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thanks you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. My namesake
Thank
over
you.
there. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Have a great life. There's
You
just
too.
so much joy. Let's make the joy part.